Alright guys, welcome back. This is the playoffs matches. Like I said, these are the most hype ones. I bring a lot of crazy tech because I'm just gonna go out crazy. So I kept thinking like, oh, I'm really weak. Everyone's seeing like my stuff. My only crazy guy that I have is like kyurem. So I'm just kind of hoping my crazy strats paid off, and some do. Some do go pretty crazy. So it gets pretty exciting. As you can see, we're fighting this Soltech guy again. Uh, this time, I brought a lot more crazy stuff for him. I kind of realized he's actually pretty weak to flying himself. So you'll see what I do. Uh, so here, I lead with my Moltres. However, my Moltres is not any ordinary Moltres. As a matter of fact, it's Choice Specs Terra Flying Hurricane Moltres. So here I'm just like, yup, kill something. I get to kill this Latios real early, which is really good, because this Latios is really problematic this game. And here I'm just not playing any games. I brought Thunder Wave because of the Rapid Spin. Uh, so this is pretty big for me, because I just basically killed and then crippled some of his strongest guys. So I'm ahead by a whole lot. Still, Mars Shadow's still scary, pretty scary. I'm scared of like an Ice Punch or a Rock Tomb with all my guys. So we do get to see the Rock Tomb. But here, I think it's just a U-turn here because I kind of figured it. No, I go for the Earthquake. I think I just go for the kill. I think I was thinking he was going to stay in. But yeah, he gets damage off. This thing still is pretty scary. It still threatens my team a lot. He gets a pretty good coverage. Here, I think... Yeah, I don't go for the thing again, because this guy's still alive to spin block me. So until he's dead, I'm not doing shit. Guaranteed damage off on here. He's trying to cripple his team. Just do damage. I didn't want to risk there, so I switch out. I think here I go for my own rocks or something. No, I volt switch again. He's trying to get damage. But here he just sacks it, because then otherwise I think Metagross would have just died. And I think he still wants Metagross for Kyurem. Here he's going to Rotom. I think Rotom's not that useful anymore here, I think. So I just go out into it. Here he calls my Protect, because I spam Protect a little bit too much. I was just trying to see what he locks himself into. So yeah, here I lose Rotom. I could have easily used Volt Switch, but I just wanted to be extra safe, and that cost me. But now I do Rapid Spin. I needed to spin just so I could keep my my Moltres healthy, because it basically does get a kill every single time it's out. I kind of figured it would rock, so I just go out into it. And here, even the Specs over here deals like a lot to the Muck. So it's pretty good damage. And here, I don't remember what I am with a Kyurem, but here I'm kind of thinking he's going to double out. So I'm just like, screw it. I'm just going for Ice Beam. I'm killing something. So I kill the Muck. And I try going for it again because I'm greedy. But here he does low kick my guy. I was like, okay. But now that he's fighting, he can't do anything to my Moltres. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to click a Fire move and get another kill. So Moltres has been popping off here. Getting a lot of damage in. Here I just sack Gliscor because it's so low. It's not going to do anything against the other guy. 4 H's in here. I think I probably should have Volt Switch, but I Rapid Spin just to keep my Moltres healthy. Volt Switch now into Lopunny just for that safe fake out. And from here, I don't think I think maybe he had Pump. He could have maybe swept, but he has Surf. So I just wanted to see what he locks himself out into. And here's to be safe, I fake out. And I knew I'd tank Surf, so I just went for the close combat. So, yep, that was that game. Moltres went pretty hard. Yeah. Alright, the next game. Now, this game was pretty scary, because I think this guy was the rank #1 with all the total kills. that he had. I think he only had one loss or something. So this guy was the top #1 pick. He had the best stats. His team was strong. Victini's really strong. Tornadoes is really strong. He had Mega Aggron, and then Deoxys is just really scary. I didn't realize that it was 150 speed, so there's nothing I can really done about it. um, so I'm kind of thinking, okay, I just need to put the pressure on, make sure I'm in the offensive. So I think my Golem, I got something crazy on it. Uh, so I'm kind of hoping Golem pops off here. Also, this is another very important battle because it's Joe Burger versus Chicken Burger. So this is a battle of the burgers. I can't afford to lose. I have to be the top burger. So kind of stressed out this match. I gotta win. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Primarina is scary for me as well. I'm a big fan of Primarina because I know how well I can tank stuff. But here I get risky. I'm like, there's no way he goes in Tornadoes. So he does, and I'm like, okay. And then I'm just like, okay, I'm going to get the rocks up. Tornadoes is up because he probably switches into a guy. But yeah, I just get the Earthquake off. Trying to get damage. I'm clicking just Earthquake. I should have just gone for moves, trying to predict. He had a Storm, misses. So he just go for Rock Blast. Because I figured he'd stay in. Now at this point, I thought he was going to switch and Regenerator. So I just go for the Earthquake again, but he misses the Storm again. So he gets to kill me. A little bit unfortunate for him missing all the time. But now he does get the Defog. And I think I'm like Specs. So if I had sub, that would have been a perfect sub, but I didn't get it. I also didn't want, if I was sub, I wouldn't have risked it. Because then he would have U-turned and Torn would have still been alive. So here's some tech that I had. I kind of figured Slowking was kind of useless, but if I had the Colbur Berry, I could maybe trick the Masquerada, which I do it, and I get to paralyze it, which is pretty good for me, because I was pretty worried about Meow. So here I go out into it again. Slowking here is just kind of like, I got to sack, because I don't really care too much about Slowking. It only really beats Primarina, but I think I got Freeze Dry for that. So now here he gets to bring the Aggron again, but I'm pivoting out, so this is good for me. Now it turns out that this actually lives to close combat, so you turn out. I don't really have a lot that can just straight up one-shot this because it's Mega Aggron. But here I'm just trying to see if I can beat it, but I forget. Uh-oh, this thing's rest. So I'm like, oh, okay. Not much I can really do there. Even if I went for damage, I could have maybe like Volt Switched. But then here I make a big mistake because he Sleep Talks, and I'm like, oh, whoa. I could have just lost Lopunny there. So here I'm just kind of thinking, okay, well, if he Sleep Talk, then I think I eventually can 1v1 with Rotom, or at least chip it to the point where Lopunny can come in and kill. But it's just kind of risky because he still deals a lot of damage, and this guy's still here. I think here I know I outspeed. So I Volt Switch, I think. But I think I'm just trying to get my health back. Yeah. So this kills. Now he's going to this because it deals with pretty much everything, and if not, guaranteed damage on Deoxys. So I do get the fake out. It's a crit. I don't know if it really mattered because I think it was a 2-hit KO anyways. So here I'm just second Moltres. It's too weak at that point. Here I could have gone for the U-turn, but I was just trying to play it safe because I think another Psychic Boost would have killed me anyways. So I played safe. Now here I get scary for me because I'm like, oh no, I can't 1v1 the aggro anymore now that I'm poisoned. Because it turns out this Victini is defensive, which I didn't expect. But it makes sense. My opponent explained to me that it's for Lopunny, so it makes sense. But I'm usually just scared of Choice Band Victini, so I kept trying to play around a hard heavy hitter Victini the whole time. Here I just get my Snow up because I want that defense. Get the Freeze Dry off. I kind of figured Purina was coming in. Now here, I'm like, this Snow actually saves me. Because, yeah, otherwise I wouldn't have lived that superpower. So I get to kill Deoxys here there, which is pretty big. Now Victini gets to come in. Gets its Recreate off. Lots of damage. I'm just trying to play around it because I'm still scared of it. I'm still thinking it's some kind of hard hitter. I didn't realize until later how bulky it was. And Aggron still looks scary because I don't really get to one-shot it with anything. And it can just heal itself back up with rest. So here I'm just also just clicking moves. Just trying to kill Victinis, kill what I can. Because I just need one of them to go down. And I can win from here. But the Victini's still scary because it can just tank and kill all my guys with a V-Create. So I need to do this carefully. Now here I'm just like, I'm just going to go for Fusion Flare. And it works out. So I just take out the Aggron. I think I was just kind of just wanting to chip as well. Because I kind of figured at that point I could have maybe won with low punny. So I get to take it out. Now at this point, the Victini, I'm just going to chip it as much as I can. So the low punny can come in. But yeah, kyurem dies. And here I just go for the fake out. So yeah, this match was pretty interesting. I kind of wish Golem did more, but that was my fault for making all the wrong calls. But the Colvary was cool, and kyurem was strong as ever. Now here's the next game. This game went pretty crazy. I think I brought Specs Moltres again. I was cussed that berry on my Golem, and I brought the classic Sub kyurem. Now this was for the finals. This guy was rank number 2, so I was really scared. I was also really scared of Sun because he actually had a Sun team. He has a Torkoal and as part of his roster, so I kept thinking he was gonna bring Sun, and I was just scared because I was just like, well, Slowking, sure, it can get rid of the Sun with the snow, but then it just gets killed by every single one of the guys on his team. So I was just like, well, okay, I don't really know what to do then. But he didn't bring Sun. Maybe he was expecting me to prep more for Sun. I almost did. I almost put Rain Dance on like my Moltres and like Rain Dance and some of my guys to try to get rid of the Sun. I'm kind of glad I didn't now that he didn't bring it. But yes, I was just really scared because Fluttermane as well. I didn't really have much to deal with ghost types either, so I didn't really do good with flying. I didn't do good with ghosts. So my team had a lot of weaknesses defensively, even though I had some really good tank mons. So I was really scared of Fluttermane. I was also really scared of Roaring Moon, because I think that if I got a Dragon Dance off, I just instantly lose. So I had to be really careful around that. And I overall just think Sun in this league was pretty broken. I think you're able to get all the broken Proto guys and just use Sun like crazy. So this was definitely a scary matchup. The last guy was number 1, so that was scary. This guy was number 2. So I'm basically fighting the best guys in the league. So yeah, this match was pretty intense. So as always, I bring out my Golem. I'm just trying to get as much value as I can from the beginning. Kind of forget about knockoff here. I was kind of hoping to do some Custap action, but I get my rocks up. I was really hoping he didn't bring Chimecho, because if he didn't, I could have just done Terra Ground and just got kills, because he didn't have much guys, but he brought both of the guys that dealt with ground, so this guy and Chimecho. So Golem just ended up just doing rocks, but here I just got my sub up. I'm able to get a kill. kyurem is really strong here if it gets to have a sub. Luckily, he did bring Chimecho, because Chimecho just lets me sub on it every single time. A lot of the other guys on his team are kind of hard to sub on, so it was kind of a risk that I took. I was planning on mainly setting sub on Torkoal, but he didn't bring Torkoal. But here comes Chimecho again, maybe expecting Earthquake, but I just U-turn here, because I can just do this again. So here I sub up. I think he goes Roaring Moon here because he wants to U-turn on my thing. But I'm just gonna go for Ice Beam either way, because even if it's Sizzle, it's still gonna be dealt a lot. And now here's the thing about my kyurem. I made it full HP because I think even max speed I wasn't outspeeding anything. So I knew I would take the Bullet Punch. So I was just like, okay, I'll stay in. I'll Fusion Flare. So I got to kill the Scissor, which is good, because I think that was his only defogger. But now here's the Lichen Rock, which is just killing stuff with with the Stone Edge. Now I thought it was Scarf. Turns out it was Banded. So I was kind of scared of it because I was thinking, oh shit, like what if it just outspeeds and kills my Lopunny? Uh, Kyurem was gonna sack Gliscor, but he goes for the Thunderbolt. So Gliscor gets to live, just spamming U-turns as I tend to do. Now here I get a kill with Lopunny. Gliscor gets to come in. I'm just kind of scared of the Lycanroc. I don't want it getting damage off. So here Gliscor dies, and I get to bring in my Moltres. So I specs Overheat on it. This was kind of my second plan, because my plan with this was, okay, if he brings Sun, I'm going to use his Sun too. So I was going to specs Overheat Fire in the Sun and just nuke everything. But it didn't do much. I just killed the other guy. And here, like I said, I'm worried about Scarf. So I do this silly loop around. I'm like, okay, I just switch this, and I get the guarantee kill with Fake Out and Quick Attack. But yeah, that was it. It was pretty intense overall. I I had a lot of fun in the league. Uh, I think a lot. I knew from the get go that it would be really interesting that everybody gets to have like Ubers on their team. It's obviously really interesting because you get to see stuff that you normally don't get to see. But I found it to be a little bit problematic sometimes in Team Builder because I'm always just scared, especially the Ubers where it's like they just have really good coverage, like Ghost or Flying or stuff like that. It's just kind of tough when you're in Draft League because you can't really bring out sometimes something that lets you deal with their stuff. So it was a little over centralizing at some points. Uh, so the Uber thing was kind of a crazy thing, not gonna lie, because it just very centralizing to my team. Like for my team was basically just I need to win with Kyurem or Lopunny as fast as I can, or they're gonna kill me with their broken Uber. So it just made some matches kind of like okay. It didn't let a lot of weaker mons shines, in my opinion. I still get to do a lot with like Golem, and there's some people did bring some crazy tech against me, which was fun. Uh, but yeah, I mean, other than that, like all the matches were really fun and really interesting. It was really nice to like to see like some of these Ubermons actually see play, especially against other Ubers, even if it was kind of broken in some scenarios. I really like regular Kyurem, so getting to use all the other Kyurem forms was really fun. Uh, but yeah, uh, I'll definitely do it again. Pretty exciting that I won. I'm not gonna lie, I was really worried the whole time because I looked at other people's teams and I was like, oh shit, like this guy had like Zygarde and this other guy had Mega Diancie and all these other broken guys with like another Uber on top of it. I'm like, oh, did I go too defensive? Because usually I play defensive with balance, but but yeah, uh, excited to see what happens next time. Some really good games. Really had fun with all of it. Um, so yeah, look out, I guess, for season 7 or whatever's next. All right, egg out.